Today is September 2nd, 2024. My name is Rob Carter of Kalamazoo Right to Life. This is Pro-Life Week. Well, today is Labor Day, so I'm sure most of you are enjoying a beautiful day here in Michigan, enjoying the holiday. So just fire up those grills and enjoy yourself. Two things today. If the polls are true, then the USA, America, the United States, the land we love, is a pro-choice nation. Is that really true? How did that happen? And back in the mid to late 1990s, surveys indicated that when respondents were asked where they fell, pro-life, pro-choice, 50%, half the country identified as pro-life. So how did that change? Why did that change? Why or when did that transformation occur? So we're going to look at it. I've got 4 bullet points, you might say, of why or how that may have happened. So we're going to kind of go through those today. The first item is the plain fact that abortion was legal for 50 years, from 1973 to 2022. The Dobbs decision ended that. Women expected that if they were in a situation of an unplanned pregnancy, they expected that right to be there. They relied on its availability and accessibility. And when that right was yanked away by the Supreme Court in the Dobbs decision, many women were incensed that a right, a constitutional right, was stripped away from them. And a lot of these women who may have been very nominally pro-choice, they now felt that they had lost a 50-year right. Very disconcerting for them, at least supposedly. When abortion was legal, it was easier to be pro-life than it is now. By saying that the unborn have an inherent right to life. It was easier for politicians to be pro-life because as long as the Supreme Court did not rule on abortion to overturn it, as long as the court didn't intervene, you could be a politician and vote on perhaps a specific pro-life bill, but you knew that as long as the Supreme Court wasn't going to overturn Roe, it wasn't going to happen. Roe was not going to be reversed. And the states would basically have no ability to change laws other than just on the margins, like parental consent, waiting periods. I mean, you couldn't outlaw the abortion. You could perhaps restrict a little bit of its accessibility. But now that's all changed. And now with Dobbs in place and it's gone back to the states, now it's more threatening, perhaps, to be pro-life. Because now you have to defend a position, and your vote, if you're a politician, your vote actually could matter. So then the pro-abortion voter would say, you justices, you politicians, you Republicans, you took away that right, and you're going to be punished. You stripped my rights, and you're going to pay for it come election day. So that's just kind of reality, and we see this decline in pro-life popularity, perhaps, in how it's reflected in surveys and in polls, especially regarding statewide referendums like Michigan's Prop 3 and Ohio's issue 1. I'm sorry. Michigan was a pro-life state, and so was Ohio. It may have been a Democratic state, but there's a lot of conservative, traditional, pro-life voters in Michigan. But when Prop 3 came along, man, they didn't show up. They just did not show up. And a lot of people were misled, and a lot of voters are misinformed, they're gullible, they in Michigan, we were outspent almost 2-1. We were just, the voters were just inundated with pro-abortion propaganda. And the voters bought it. They just bought it. And now in Florida, there's this Amendment 4 that is just like our Prop 3. It would enshrine abortion rights in the Florida state constitution. And right now, a survey was taken about a month ago. Right now, Amendment 4 is going to pass with 69% of the vote. Now think back 2022, Michigan's Proposal 3, we lost 57 to 43%. 57% of the Michigan voters voted pro-abortion. And somehow in Florida, it's at 69% pro-abortion vote? I mean, Florida is the state where Ron DeSantis won re-election by 20% over his Democratic challenger. Are we really expected to believe 69% of Florida voters are going to vote to enshrine abortion rights in their state constitution? 69%? I mean, that does seem hard to believe. The survey, it was one survey, they only surveyed about 800 voters, likely voters. So it's a small sample in a huge state like Florida. So I don't know how reliable that is, but it is a very concerning thing that number is so high. Okay, but it does seem to indicate that there has been a shift away from being moderately pro-life to now being either moderately or enthusiastically pro-abortion. Okay, number 2, Democrats have become far more stridently pro-abortion in the last 20 years. Back in the 1990s, pro-life organizations that were political, that endorsed candidates, they had endorsed about 120 Democrats in Congress. 120 solid, conservative, on the issue of abortion, pro-life voters, pro-life politicians. Now, there's only one left. Henry Cuellar of Texas. He's the only pro-life Democrat left. And don't even consider Senator Bob Casey of Pennsylvania as being pro-life. He has touted his pro-life credentials, but he is not with us at all anymore. He really isn't. He's voted very pro-abortion on a lot of legislation. When Dobbs was decided, he publicly came out and condemned it, and he voted for a bill that would codify Roe in U.S. law. He is not where he claims he is. He is not, and there will be a judgment coming his way. Number 3, the national media is almost 100% pro-abortion. Sure, we have Fox News, we have Newsmax. Newsmax tends to be a little bit more conspiratorial, conspiracy theories. Fox News is more middle of the road, but it is lean conservative. And then you've got a lot of social media that is conservative. Ben Shapiro, Michael Knowles, Megyn Kelly, Bill O'Reilly. You've got a lot of people like that who present, even Dave Rubin, who's not really pro-life, but he is a conservative. So you have a lot of people who are more clear-headed, I would say, and they have a big following. They do, but then you go back to the national media. NBC, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, CNN, PBS, the newspapers, the Washington Post, New York Times, Chicago Tribune, the LA Times. These are all pro-abortion to the nth degree. And especially like with TV, if you add all those groups together, all those networks and all their viewers, as big as Fox News is, all of them together still overwhelmingly have an impact on the majority of American TV, the TV audience. And like I said, if they are gullible, if they believe misinformation, they're going to be fed a bunch of lies about the pro-life cause, about the unborn, about the issue of abortion, about pro-life politicians, where they stand, and they're going to paint a picture of us in the worst possible light. That's just a fact. That's just the way it is. And voters who are ill-informed and don't do their homework, they're going to be misled. Okay. 4, pastors, priests, bishops, church leaders of all stripes have not done due diligence, really, in being forceful in communicating the pro-life message. They just have not done it to their members. And not all Protestant denominations are pro-life. Many of them are very, very pro-abortion. Many of them are. So for evangelical, for Catholic priests, for bishops, it's time to get off the fence and be more vocal about defending the right to life of the unborn child. Okay, let me turn a page here. I talked before about proposal about Amendment 4 in Florida. Donald Trump had a little bit of a dust-up just last Thursday and Friday, because when he was asked about Amendment 4, and he came out and he said that he didn't support the state's 6-week heartbeat bill. He said it's gone too far. I don't support it. Almost as if to imply that he was going to vote in favor of Amendment 4, the pro-abortion amendment, because he doesn't like the heartbeat bill. And, pro-lifers were pulling their hair out. Come on, Donald Trump, we're the base that got you elected. Are you really saying that you could vote pro-abortion on this referendum that will enshrine abortion rights in the state constitution? Are you really saying that? Well, I think Trump realized overnight, that he needed to do some cleanup in aisle 4. He just needed to do some cleanup and mend some offenses. So the next day he was asked by, I think, an NBC reporter how he was going to vote on Amendment 4. And he came out and said that even though he doesn't support the heartbeat law, he is going to vote pro-life. He's going to vote no on Amendment 4. And if Amendment 4 were to pass, the heartbeat bill would be overturned by state constitution. So all these pro-life laws that Ron DeSantis and the Florida legislature have been able to enact and pass, and Ron and DeSantis signing, all of those will be gone. So I think Trump realizes that. So he's going to vote. He's going to vote no. He's going to vote the pro-life position on proposal on Amendment 4, which is a good thing. He's still not as strong as he needs to be. I applaud how he has made the Supreme Court more pro-life. I think all pro-lifers support that. But he needs to be a little bit more vocal in his support for pro-life legislation. He does. And here again, Kamala Harris, the word salad queen, she is horrible. She is so pro-abortion that it's not even recognizable comparing her to Trump. So, and we'll see how the Trump campaign goes on the issue of abortion, because we know the Democrats, we know where they're going to fall. We just want to make sure that the GOP and Donald Trump stay in the pro-life corner. With that, I'll let you go, and I'll see you next time.